All right, so I'm going to be doing another Blood Hunt tie-in that was sent to me by my friend Chris. Thank you once again, bro. Today we're going to be talking about Midnight Suns Blood Hunt, or Blood Hunt Midnight Suns. It don't matter. So this was written by Brian Hill, who did the Blade run that kind of led up to Blood Hunt, and yeah. So there's a lot of that. Now I did like the Hill of the short, even though it was short-lived, and I think that was one of my detriments was it just kind of got wrapped up way too fast. I don't know if it was sales or something else, but yeah. So thankfully, Hill gets to write more into the Marvel supernatural side, and he does have a taste for it. The artwork was done by, looking it up right now, Jermaine Peralta. I hope I'm saying that last name right. And we also have a backup story of Werewolf by Night by Jason Liu. So, yeah. So it's technically 4 issues, though. The Midnight Sun story is a 3-parter, and the Werewolf by Night is a 1-shot. I kind of feel like the Werewolf by Night story should have been collected in the Blood Hunt Marvel Universe tie-ins, but whatever. I feel it does kind of make sense because Werewolf by Night has been a member of the Midnight Suns, even though it's kind of disconnected. And that's the best way to describe this book on a whole, is that it feels completely disconnected than what it should be. And the plot sounds really good, but then it goes into a different direction entirely. Basically, the plot of this comic is Tulip, one of Blade's lovers, basically has discovered that, hey, Blade's gone AWOL, and I need a team to put him down if necessary, because he's more dangerous than, letting him live, especially with the power he has now, is too dangerous, and I understand that. So Tulip brings together Johnny Blaze, who at the time had lost the spirit of vengeance, and it had gone into the hood during the end of Ben Percy's run. And we also get Danny Ketch, he and his Ghost Rider, and the return of another character named Victoria Montesi, who is a classic character, a very lesser known character, where she was actually Marvel's first I didn't know this, but she was Marvel's first canonically lesbian character. And she's also a daughter of Chthon. She's a daughter of Chthon, and a being born from the Darkhold. Also, that name, the Montesi, should bring up some stuff, because the Montesi formula, the thing used to eradicate all vampires. Anyway, so Tulip brings together Johnny, Victoria, and Danny together to put down Blade for the good of everyone else. Yeah. That doesn't happen. Like, that's what you think it is. It's going to be like, oh yeah, we're going to have Ghost Rider taking on, Blade, and this possessed form of Blade, which, by the way, the Blade in here doesn't sound like, because the whole thing at the beginning, Varney, when he possessed Blade, he basically was pretending to be him perfectly, but here, he's like talking all slow, like he's trying to, like the old Blade is trying to force his way out or something. Yeah, that doesn't happen. Like, it kind of shows, like, during these events, there's some major disconnects. Also, there's a weird moment, and this is kind of a spelling error, that I just thought I'd bring it up now, where Tulip goes to talk to Danny, and she calls him Blade. I'm like, wow, I hope someone got fired for that blunder. But yeah. So the real story of this is that when they're all gearing up to go fight Blade, to take the fight to Blade, they all have this horrible nightmare of a monster in a hospital, and they all go there. And it feels so disconnected. Even though Blade shows up for a brief second, it still doesn't explain, none of it explains as to why did Blade go to the hospital, what was the being that was at the hospital. This feels like a storyline that Hill wanted to tell in his own Midnight Suns comic, but he just couldn't do it. Also, there's a lot of, like, unconnected stuff in here. Like when Tulip helps Danny deal with some government group trying to steal a being from the Dark Dimension, and also Tulip's introduction when she summons Lilith to rip out a demon out of this guy. Yeah, it all feels kind of unconnected, really. Especially, like, again, this is a 3-issue... excluding the Werewolf by Night story, which I'll get to in a minute, the main Midnight Suns 3-issue story feels like a total, like it doesn't really tie into Blood Hunt other than here's a vampire, there's Blade, that's it. And again, they don't explain what the demon is. They don't explain how this connects to Blood Hunt. And this also, again, you could have just had a story where, having them be a strike team to try to take out Blade directly and battling the Blood Coven, his personal group of special vampires. But no, that doesn't happen at all. There's no explanation for it, and the story just ends. I will say that there is one key importance in this book, is that it acts as like an epilogue at the end of the 3rd issue, talking about what happened to Blade after he was freed from Varney's control. So, but that's it. That's the only way it ties back into it. I was all gearing up for Ghost Rider fighting possessed Blade and all that. That never happens. The Werewolf by Night story follows Jake Gomez, not even Jack Russell. Not to say, I think if I remember right, Jake was the Werewolf by Night created by the guy from one of the guys from Black Eyed Peas, Taboo, and they haven't really done anything with this character. And here he just goes to a robot dinosaur park, abandoned robot dinosaur park, and battles a classic character from Ghost Rider's Rogues Gallery. And I'm talking classic in the sense of that this character hasn't been seen since 1973. So I got to give credit to, some cool callbacks like that. But I feel like Jake Gomez is a cool character, but it should have been Jack Russell. Jack has had and again, this also has nothing to do with Blood Hunt other than we have vampire cops. That's really it. So, and I feel not having Jack Russell here in any of this event was kind of weird, because he's not only tied to a lot of supernatural stuff, Jack is a close ally. He has been a friend of Blade in the past. He's been him and Eric, Blade's real name, have been friends and allies before. So to not have Jack in here at all just kind of felt oh, that's a letdown. So yeah, I was really excited to read this because I love Midnight Suns and all its dumb 90s glory. But this comic just felt like it missed the mark. This book really does feel like it's so disconnected from the main event, and we have a story that goes nowhere. And it feels like more of, again, Brian Hill wanting to pitch his own Midnight Suns comic, which is nothing wrong with that. I would love to see Brian Hill write a Midnight Suns book, but this was just kind of the wrong place. It should have just been, as the cover, gives you, it should have been a book about, Tulip getting the Midnight Suns together, or this incarnation, to try to take out Blade. And of course you could have him fail, but still. Yeah. So that's my review of Blood Hunt Midnight Suns. Chris, I want to thank you again, bro, for the book, as well as the others. Like I've been saying, I've been doing all the Marvel books I've been reading have all been Blood Hunt tie-ins. So I'm going to finish those up. And there is one, Chris has said there's one more missing, and that's the X-Men tie-in. So that'll be coming soon. So I'm just going to power through the rest of the Blood Hunt tie-ins to wrap them up, so I can get on to other Marvel books, like the other X-Men books and whatnot. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.